Welcome back to How You Make It Up. Today we've got Lucy again and we are going to look at doing a really nice autumnal eye, something with really rich tones. Think of coppers, cranberries. I believe any colours look good any time of the year, but we're looking at what's on trend right now as well, especially on the catwalks. There's lots of kind of these rusty colours and cranberries. So I'm going to do the eyes first on Lucy and then work on the base last, because we use powder pigments which may actually slip down a little bit. So I'm taking this palette by Kiko, which is a gorgeous selection of colours. I'll hold the mirror here so I don't reflect it. Really beautiful golds, kind of purpley reds, mushrooms, nice browns, and these have a lovely creamy powdery consistency. So I'm going to use these on Lucy today on her eyes. I'm going to start on Lucy's eye with an eye base. So using the Kiko palette, I'm just going to use a bit of the beige all over, just to clean the lid, get it really nice and clean. Turn right that way. And then the first colour I'm going to go in with, using a couple of different MAC 217 brushes, is the cranberry colour. Now it gets quite messy as the pigment falls down, so just leave your base tool last, I would. But I'm going to take this, you can see how it will drop down the skin, so just definitely leave your base tool last. And I'm just taking this all over the lid and into the socket a little bit, but start feathering out by the time you get to the socket. And just sweeping motions backwards and forwards and little circles as well. And then just feather it out with a lighter hand as you get towards the socket. And drag it out a little bit. And with the one you put your base on, just a domed brush, just blend over that line to soften. I'm going to use some lashes as well on Lucy today, just to emphasise the look. So I'm just feathering that out a bit, and I'm just kind of extending the eye outwards a little bit as well to give a bit more length to Lucy's eye. Taking a smaller domed eye brush, I'm going to go in the same colour and then starting on the lower lash, so it's really intense. I'm just going over again with that cranberry shade. I'm going to start taking that through the socket, so we've got more definition coming in now. And again, pulling out and blend again with your bigger brush. So you've got a little bit of space between the eyebrow and the eye. Using a smaller brush by Makeup Forever, I'm just going to take a bit of the lightest colour eyeshadow into the inner corner. And I'm just going to use this so we get a nice pop of light on the inside corner. And we're just going to blend that up. Like I said, these are really pigmented, these eyeshadows, they're so good. I think this palette is about £16.90, but you get really 6 beautiful, really wearable colours that used on their own or mixed together work really, really well. And then we're going to take a flat Dr. Hauschka brush. And I'm going to use the gold colour now and just print that. So just popping that into the centre of the lid. And I'm not really blending it yet, I'm just getting a nice pop of colour, and then I'm going to start fading it into the eye. So now going in with the dark kind of mocha brown, just go along the lash line. So I'm going to take a little bit underneath, but what I'll probably do is take away the underneath eyeshadow before I do under the eye. What you're going to do is take a bit of eye pencil. I'm going to use this colour by Laura Mercier, which is Black Violet, which is a really nice kind of purple coal. And I'm just going to take this in dots along the top of the lash line, and I'm going to blend it in. So I'm going to do a few messy dots and then blend with a little bit of pigment on top as well, a bit of the cranberry colour on the small domed brush as well. And just really push that into the lash line. And then you want to take a bit of Bioderma and a cotton pad and just clean underneath the eye so you can see better where your pattern's going. Look up. Literally just clean that away, and you can lift kind of the shape you want to make as well. And I'm going to take the same eyeliner from Laura Mercier that I did on the top into the waterline. So I'm not taking it all the way into the inner corner, I take it to just sort of 3/4 the way in, and then just blend that out a little bit as well with a few dots, and then just blend that out again with the same brush you used your cranberry with. Okay. Then I'm going to take a little bit of the Clinique small lashes and just put this along the bottom lashes. Cut for these. Taking Sheer Mirror eyelash curlers, and I'm going to curl the lashes. And then I'm going to take my Duo eyelash glue, and I'm using a pair by Autumnal. So just trace that along your lash line. Make sure you've got enough but even layers all the way along. So aiming for the middle of the eyelash, you just want to take the middle and aim it onto the middle of the eye first, have a look at where it kind of sits on the other eye, but just pull it quite tight towards, and then just do one end down. Okay, try to make sure my hands are out of the way. So when one end's stuck down, just look down at the floor for me, Lucy. And then just take the inner corner, stretch it over, and just make sure you push it in. So I'm going to take a Max Factor Clumptify, and I'm going to blend that through the false lashes and Lucy's natural lashes. Okay, so just turn to me, Lucy, and look down. So just blend that through, so you don't have any natural lashes kind of showing through when you've got your false lashes on. This is the Grace Kelly Eyebrow Pencil by Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm really liking this actually at the minute because you've got the tool which you just brush through. So you brush the eyebrows through, and then you draw with this end. So you just roll it up. It's like a really nice kind of greigey blonde, and I'm just going to take that through Lucy's eyebrows just to give a little bit of extra definition with this eye. And it's nice to have quite a full brow as well with this. But just following, there's Lucy's natural arch, and then just going backwards and forwards, just adding a little bit more pigment, just working through. And I find you can do really quick feathery strokes with this, and you can build the pigment quite quickly. The other thing you get with this Charlotte Tilbury eyebrow pen is if you unscrew the middle, you get a highlighter inside, which you can just dab really nicely under the brow bone. If you just take it along, it acts like a natural highlight, which is going to look really nice with that eye. And then I'm just going to use another brush just to kind of blend that in a little bit as well, so it doesn't look too, it's more like a natural highlight. So this is Charlotte's Magic Cream, which has SPF 15, and it just really plumps the skin, makes it look really nice and glowy again. So we're just going to use this, turn to me, as a base before we put our foundation on. And I'm going to use a tinted moisturiser on Lucy, because she's got a nice tan where she's come back from holiday. So the tinted moisturiser I'm going to use is by Wild About Beauty, and this is Sheer Glow Moisture Tint in SPF 20. And this is a really, really nice product actually. It's very, very soft and natural. So if you have, if you like a really light coverage, this will be great for you. So I'm using shade 3 in Honey, and I'm just going to buff that through the skin. And under the eye, make sure it's really tidy, and don't forget to take a little onto the neck as well, just to make sure your neck's really even compared to your face. So I'm going to use a bit of Medium One by NARS for a bit of concealer under the eye. I'm going to use for that as well a MAC 224 brush. So I'm just placing this under the skin. Look up for me, you see? So under the eyes and around the nose, and I'm just going to blend that in. And I'm using it to sculpt up the eyes as well. I'm bringing this into the skin, and I'm also going to use my foundation brush to help buff that back into the skin so it becomes part of the skin again. And then you can use your smaller brush for any areas that your big brush isn't reaching as easily. Lip-wise, I'm going to take something by NARS. This is the Satin Lip Pencil, and this is in Rikugian. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but it's this lovely kind of dusky pink shade, which I think will be really pretty with this lip. Because I think the temptation is to go too nude, but I think for autumn it's nice to still keep it a little bit rusticy pink. I'm going to use the Tom Ford palette Intensity 2 Shade and Contour on Lucy. And I'm going to take a small brush like this for the contour. And turn this way for me. And if you just suck in your cheekbones. So I'm just going to start taking that in, and then I'm going to buff that through the hollows of the cheeks and just really use that to sculpt in, and then we're going to blend that out as well. So blend that in with your foundation brush. And then just add a tiny bit of highlight to the cheeks as well from the same palette. I'm just going to use my finger and just dot that along the cheekbones. On this side. Tiny bit of that on top of the lip as well. And then because it's autumn as well, we're going to add a dot of cream blush just to complete the look. Mine's in a palette, but I'm going to be using Max Factor Soft Moreno. And I'm just going to take this with my finger, and again it's a nice kind of plummy red colour, and I'm just going to use the tiniest dot just to add a little bit of colour. And then to finish, just use a little powder. I'm going to use some translucent powder by Laura Mercier just to finish. Just a dot around the skin and a Japanese artist brush. I'm going to take that over the chin, down the nose, across the lips, into the forehead. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you like it. Leave me your video responses of the makeups you've tried yourself as well. I'd love to see anyone who's tried to recreate the look. And please subscribe. Thanks guys, bye!